This book, when I nearly died in Chile almost 3 years ago. It was October 19th, almost 3 years ago. And I want to get closer to you so you can say, hey, are the people hiding back in the science section? Hello? Alda. So what happened in Chile was I was doing my science program on top of a mountain, about 8,000 feet up in an observatory, and I was interviewing astronomers up there. And I got this terrible cramp in my gut, and I didn't know what it was, and it was killing me. And I went in and did the interview anyway. And you can see, if you look at the tape, you can see that I'm getting greener and greener as the interview goes on. And after that, I was just a mess, you know. So they had a medic at this observatory, and he said, "How are you?" I said, "Well, it's killing me. I don't know, and it's moved down over here to the right side. I think maybe it's my appendix." And he said, "Yeah, I think so too." You know, so I was really reassured by that. So it got really bad, and they put me in an ambulance. Now this ambulance, they have ambulances at all the remote locations in Chile because they have mining accidents. And they hadn't had a mining accident at this observatory. So I don't think they used the ambulance since 1942. And it looked like that boxy thing, you know, that we had on MASH, those really old ambulances. And they stuck me in it, and they couldn't get it started. It was like a scene out of the program. So I'm lying in there moaning. I mean, I was groaning and moaning. And they finally got it started, and they took me down the bumpy road an hour and a half to a little hospital in this small town of La Serena, Chile. And by luck, there was a doctor there who was an expert surgeon. And he said, after he was able to figure out what I had. What I had was an obstructed intestine. And there was about this much of it that passed this on to the people in the children's section. There was about this much of it that had died, and more was dying every few minutes, and in about a couple hours I'd be dead along with the rest of it. So he leans into me. Now I'm on morphine now, you know, and he says, "Now here's what's gone wrong." Morphine was very good, but that's the only drug I've ever had outside of aspirin, and I really liked it. So he said, "Now what's happened is some of your intestine has gone bad, and we have to cut out the bad part and sew the two good ends together." And I said, "Oh, you're going to do an end-to-end anastomosis." So you should have seen his face when I said that. He said, "Yeah, how did you know that?" I said, "Oh, I did many of them on MASH." Funny thing is, that was the first operation I learned about on MASH. They had invented it for the Korean War, and so I had studied that, you know. And the doctor had seen MASH while he was in high school, so the two of us came to this from a fictional background. Now the room we were in was really, it was a small, dingy hospital. Across from me in the emergency room, I found out later, was this guy with self-inflicted wounds, self-inflicted stab wounds. He had been arrested by the cops, and he figured out that if he stabbed himself, they'd have to take him to a hospital. See, and then I think he had a cell phone or something, and he called his girlfriend and arranged for her to have a car waiting outside the hospital. And while they were looking at the movie star, he escaped.